Solidarity forever. We shall always stand for our rights.
Challenge every undemocratic practice.
Particularly in Ekiti State, regarding the undemocratic process leading to the selection of Governor Oyebanji as candidate of the party, which, if goes unaddressed, will spell doom for our democracy and threaten the peace, unity, and democratic advancement of our dear nation. To this circumstance, we strongly bring to bear the consequences of hegemony manipulation politics as a muster to the establishment of credible leadership and good governance in Nigeria. First and foremost, number one, lack of internal democracy within the Ekiti APC chapter. Our deepest concern centers on the lack of internal democracy within the Ekiti State chapter of the All Progressive Congress. It is deeply worrisome that the party has screened out a legitimate aspirant from participating in the governorship primaries without any cogent or verifiable reason, thereby creating a concern primary without any cogent or verifiable reason, I quote, thereby creating a crooked means to the advantage of the incumbent governor who is desperate to getting the second term ticket of the party. We are therefore compelled to ask, where then lies the democratic value of the ruling party in leading the nation to a safe ground of leadership purpose where democracy and rule of law takes preeminence in our internal system? Number two, non-performance and the forced imposition of the governor on the people of Ekiti. The second issue of concern is the non-performance of the sitting governor and the subsequent imposition of a consensus adoption of the candidates as the candidacy as the party's flag bearer. We are not unaware of the provision for the consensus candidates in the Constitution of All Progressive Congress as political party, but not when such an approach deviates from the decent and the guiding rules of the Constitution. The third, the kind of consensus that gave birth to Governor Oyebanji as APC 2025 gubernatorial candidate is not only questionable, but lacks credibility and ingredient of internal democracy and its inherent democratic ingredients. The coalition finds it unfortunate that rather than allowing a transparent contest of ideas and competence, the APC party machinery in the Ekiti State has chosen to endorse mediocrity over merit. Ekiti people deserve progress, not retrogression and propaganda. The governor's administration has failed to deliver on key sectors such as education, healthcare, job creation, and infrastructure, as such not qualify to be returned to the seat of power. The negative situations in Ekiti State speaks volumes of the spineless disposition of the current government in Ekiti State in delivering democratic dividends to the people, all of which are now shadows of what they used to be. Yes, the party leadership has opted to reward failure without automatic renomination. Thirdly, discrimination and false allegation against other aspirants. We also condemn in strong terms the deliberate marginalization and humiliation of other aspirants within the party. These are known party members who contributed immensely to the progress of that party. It is disheartening, annoyed, and uncalled for that the APC leadership in the state has gone to the extent of discrediting the nomination forms submitted by some aspirants, firstly alleging that their sponsors and signatories are not party members. This is unthinkable, especially when the so-called non-members were aspirants in the same party some years ago. Review the kangaroo selection of Governor Abayomi Oyebanji as consensus candidate of the All Progressive Congress and allow internal politics to thrive. An imposition can't be labeled consensus, it is a failure of leadership. Reinstate all the screened out aspirants as a matter expediency. Constitute an independent reconciliation and review panel to restore confidence and unity within the party. Ensure that future primaries strictly adhere to the principles of transparency, equity, and internal democracy. 6, our broader democratic concern. Aside our agitation for justice, we also warned the ruling party, led by Mr. President, not to put this country under the principles of one-party system. Democracy as the best form of government must be strengthened in practice beyond rhetorics. As civil society, we will continue to monitor, engage, and advocate for fairness and justice in the electoral and governance processes across Nigeria, and we will not relent until justice is done in Ekiti as parameter for democratic progress in Nigeria. In conclusion, we therefore call on all the stakeholders in Nigeria, the media party, the party members, religious bodies, trade unions, and traditional leaders, youth and women organizations to rise and speak up and act in defense of democracy in Nigeria by making Ekiti State a veritable testing ground for the correction of political anomalies in the Ekiti State democratic process. We condemn and reject the outcome of the kangaroo state adoption of Governor Abayomi Oyebanji as consensus candidate of APC in the coming gubernatorial election in Ekiti State. History will not forgive our silence when democracy is under threat and self-annihilation of desperate politicians whose democratic expediency is rooted in impunity. We are saying that this impunity must not be allowed. Democracy must work for the people, not for the privileged few. Thank you.
It is important to note that there are grave consequences to such political macabre dance that have been ensued by the current affairs as it relates to Ekiti State. One of the consequences is that we are heading towards 2027 and Nigerians are having their ears and eyes open and having a sensitive body feeler system that is expecting a deviation from the norm. A deviation from the norm in the sense that we are looking at political and economic reforms in Nigeria. Most importantly, electoral reforms. If a party like APC is found meddling in this kind of kangaroo primaries, where candidates that are known to have contested in the past are disqualified on flimsy excuses, as alleged by the victims, it is important that we x-ray the various components of the primary as held. Then it is important to note that people like Abimbola Olajumoke, Mrs. and engineer Kayode Ojo, who people have known to be participatory in the party affair over time, have been kicked out before the race. What was the governor afraid of? If he's democratic enough, I think it is better he would have gone into contest. And if APC is sincere to Nigerians that we are heading to a free, fair, and credible election come 2027, it is important that we all speak truth to the face of the existing realities of an almost authoritarian system where the party is coasting down to unilaterally impose candidacy on people. Let democracy be seen to be done. If a political party primary is enmeshed in this kind of defective and unwarranted and socially maligning and politically incongruent kind of primary, it shows that the foundation of our democracy is already shaking. And if a foundation of a building like Nigeria is shaking, of course, you and I know the consequences. It means any building you put on it may not be able to stand very well. And like it has been said, we call on Nigerian youths, we call on civil society groups to speak out when they see wrongs. Even if it is not going to be corrected, let it be seen that justice is done and seen to be perfectly done without recourse to party, without recourse to personality, without recourse to the position of whoever is involved in such unnecessary attempt to return Nigeria back to its shadow days. I thank you all and good afternoon.
Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. We shall always stand.